Okay, so I don't know where it cut off, but the Emperor is the master of duality, unified polarities. Okay, so that center of the barbell, of the Vajra, okay, that's what the Emperor is. He, instead of being always battling these extremes, okay, the opposite ends, which are that five energy is always battling extremes, but the Emperor stays centered. That center of the Vajra, or that barbell, is where the polarities unify. That's where you find your balance, your equilibrium. And the Emperor is always allowing for God to work in his life. That's that Tower card. You can't co-create with God. This Eight of Wands, where you're setting the intention, you know, yeah, it's a message coming in, or you're sending out a message, but you know, it's not small talk. This is powerful information. And that's what seeds carry. They carry this encoded message, the DNA in each seed. The embryo carries all the information that manifests that individual intention. So just like a seed, a sperm and an egg, it's an intention. It's encoded with all the intention specific to that seed. Okay, this Tower card has all these little blue clocks, okay, like little cuckoo clocks. So that's like divine timing. And it's letting you know it's the time. The time is now. When that cuckoo bird comes out, cuckoo, cuckoo. It's not telling you you're crazy. It's saying now is this, it's this time right now. And whatever that time is, whatever it means to you, to do whatever you need to do, or to receive whatever you need to receive, or just to pay attention at that certain time, be consciously aware of your being, of your existence. This is divine timing. And Tower card represents that. It could also represent tears, you know, someone's crying. I've actually been pretty happy lately. Haven't been doing any crying. That was last week. Or a couple weeks ago or whatever. So, unified polarity. The Emperor knows how to stay balanced. Have that equilibrium. Not battling extremes. That 5 energy. Setting intentions according to the highest vibration, the ultimate consciousness, the most expanded, awakened, aware, in-tuned consciousness. And we don't need to try, okay? Like each one of these seeds and these little dandelion puffs, it already knows what to do. You give it its basic needs, okay? Everything you need to know is already inside you. It's already encoded inside you from God, okay? We don't need to try. We just need to be. If we just allow ourselves to be, let the DNA do its thing. Let the flower bloom. Let things unfold as they're supposed to. I mean, you can coax it and guide it and shelter it and protect it a little bit, like just like cultivating a seed, just like, you know, having a garden, planting those seeds, you know, but you can't, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just let it do its thing. It knows what to do. We know what to do. We don't have to try. We just have to be. It's like we're always fighting ourselves. We want to do this, we want to do that. We can just be, and that's okay. Well, don't you need to do something? No, we were created to be, and let things unfold in divine timing. As long as you're just coming from your highest consciousness of the highest vibration and pure intention, then all you need to do is be. So you don't really need to do anything. Our body knows how to heal itself, okay? Do you, when you cut yourself and get a scab or, some abrasion on your knee because you tripped and do you do anything? No, you're just existing and going about your daily life, and your knee, it heals itself because it's encoded in your DNA. It knows what to do. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be and let things unfold as they may. Stop getting in the way. That rhymed, but yeah, we're getting in our own way by interfering too much in our own life, let alone other people's lives, but just our own life. Stop interfering in your own life. I mean, do it if you want to. Do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do, but, a lot of times, we don't have to do something to change our lives and make it better. Sometimes we need to undo something. Sometimes we need to let things just evolve and unfold naturally, like it would. We can put all this energy and effort into something, and it can still result in still end up having the same exact result. So you could have saved all that energy and time and thinking and emotion because it didn't change anything. Okay, there's no reason to pine away for something or put all your energy into focusing on something, because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. In the meantime, use that energy to do something constructive. If you feel the need to do, it's like sitting around waiting for Christmas, like when you're a kid. Oh, the presents! But in the meantime, you still gotta make your bed and eat, and you're gonna watch TV or whatever when you're a kid, Still gonna go play with your friends. You still gotta go to school and take a shower and blah blah blah. So in the meantime, you still need to live your life as you normally would, and then if things are destined to happen, then it'll happen. Whatever it is, a job, a relationship, letting go of something, bringing something into your life. When you bring something into your life, you're just allowing yourself to receive. You don't have to do anything, okay? The seed, as long as it has enough water and sustainable soil and sunlight, then it just needs the basic trinity. Water, soil, sunlight. And of course the air that's everywhere, it needs that carbon dioxide, that beautiful exchange. It takes our waste product and it breathes that in, and so it needs the carbon dioxide. Isn't it amazing how God just set up everything so perfectly? And then the trees give us our oxygen, and that's their waste product. But for us, it's our prana, it's our life force, our breath. It's amazing. If we just think of those simple, and that's what comes from just being, allowing yourself to just be. The wonderment, the amazement of how miraculous just the most simple things in life are. Just like the breath, okay? The wind is the earth's breath. And our breath is voluntary when we're awake, and when we're asleep it's involuntary. So see how God thought of everything? And a lot of people think, oh, well, how can there be God when there's, babies being kidnapped and murdered? And because there's such thing as free will. That's why. Free will. Okay? There's disease and all that stuff because the free will of evil elitists, the silent, dark guiding hand of the government, big business, and all these people who, call them 1% or whatever, globalists, they have free will too. But see, what you reap is what you sow. So if you send out those seeds of nothing but the purest intention, you will suffer the consequences. You will have a garden of thorns. And and they'll be set ablaze, and you'll be tossed into that, depending on how bad of intentions you set. So when it's of the purest, highest vibration and intention, you don't really have to do much. You just have to let it unfold. And then you receive that bounty, that harvest, that abundance, that cornucopia, the horn of plenty. Okay? The emperor is wearing a horned headdress. He knows all about the horn of plenty. And this Four of Wands is at the base here. That's how the situation transpires before you arrive at the end result, which is the Star card, which is visionary, is what I'm getting from that, because she's seeing everything in its entirety and how it all relates to itself and each other. That's the oneness. And the visionary, which is represented by the Star card, allows you to perceive that. You got to perceive to receive. So to receive this bounty, this harvest, the cornucopia of your life, the horn of plenty of your life, you have to be visionary. You have to be a visionary. And how do you do that? By having a single perspective. And that's the oneness. So she's very connected. She has her feet down here in the water, and then her hand touching the cosmos. So she knows she is the flow. It's not about going with the flow. It's about knowing you are part of the flow. You are the flow. And the Emperor kind of has that same energy. But it doesn't need to be tyrannical. Okay, you don't need to command anything or control anything. It all comes naturally. It's encoded. It's the God code, the God core that's encoded, that's branded on your soul. On all of each and every one of us has that. And it's our own special, unique brand given to us by God, which is our DNA. Not every single person is unique. Even if you have the 5 kids in the same family, same mother and father, each one of those kids, even if they all look like twins or something, or all are twins, triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets, each one of those kids are going to be unique and different, even if they have the same exact DNA. Because they don't have the same soul. Okay. So just know you're unique. Your soul is how you communicate with the one that created you. You and God are like this, two peas in a pod. You're chums, and He's like that with each and every person, each and every creature, every tree, every rock, every bird, every human, everything, okay? Every single celled organism is encoded by God and has a direct relationship with God. But us as human beings have a very special relationship with God because of our consciousness. And that's why we were given such responsibility. We need to be accountable as stewards of the earth. We are the protectors of allowing for God to unfold and to maintain that, and to not let anything interfere with that, and to shield and protect it if something does try to interfere with that. All, like I was talking, okay, the globalist thing, like all disease and everything was created through free will, okay? God's kingdom is perfect. Like in the book of Genesis, 840 years old, and so, I mean, we can live as long as we want to, and then when we're ready to go home, then we can just decide, and we can. That's enlightenment. A lot of yogis, when they're ready to just go home, they've reached that point of enlightenment. It coincides. It's one and the same. They just drop their fleshly body. They're perfectly healthy. They just leave their body and go home. You don't need to age and die, and okay? You can decide when you're ready to go home. Just like when you decided you're ready to have sex for the first time or whatever. You know, it's the same thing. When you're out doing something and you're ready to go home now, okay? You decide. That's free will. And not everyone's free will is aligned with the highest intention and the golden consciousness, the Christ consciousness, and that's the nature of duality. So mastering it is very important. Or else we get entangled in the extremities of the polarities instead of being unified. Unifying those polarities and mastering it. Don't get entangled and entrapped in the snares of the 5 energy. But if you do, remember that you're not trapped. You have free will to go in and out of it. That's what mastering duality is. You know, sometimes we need to go into that 5 energy, feel it, think it, be it, all that, and gain. But don't just have it all just be for naught. Pain isn't just pain just for no reason. It's there to tell you, you know, you got a thorn in your side that might cause an infection. Hey, here's some pain as an alert system. God created that too, to help us. When you get a headache, you know, you're probably dehydrated and need to drink water. So everything doesn't happen for no reason. There's always a reason behind the pain that we go through. Even if we put ourselves there through, and nobody else did anything, I mean, and even if we perceive it as that, it's how we're responding to it. So what we do is just like as above, so below. So inside, we take our thoughts and feelings into account, and we create a certain projection. Okay? Then we put that projection outside ourselves into reality, into the 3D material plane. Okay, so our thoughts and feelings reflect a certain movie, I guess that you can call it, like a movie, a play, a dialogue, or whatever. Okay? So we project that through our thoughts and feelings, and then it's rejected. It's reflected back at us. Like the world is just a big blank, like, screen. Okay, it's the projection screen where you can watch the movie, but it starts inside you. That whole thing of projection and reflection already happened inside you. Now you externalize it and project it out into the world, and it gets reflected back at you through situations, through nature, through people, okay, conversation. So let's remember to be accountable for that. Those are the seeds of intention that we're sowing. What we project out is reflected back at us. We need to be responsible and accountable for what we're projecting. And that starts internally, the internal dialogue. Then it gets externalized. It's just a more amplified version because it's external, so it's on a bigger scale. Micro, macro. As above, so below. As within, so without. I don't want to go on too much longer, and I did. So I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say there, as far as all the cards and what messages I was given. Thank you, God, Source, Creator, Great Spirit, Yahweh, Yahweh,